Alright here, gentlemen, as you can see here, I have another one of my infamous PUA roasting debunking videos. This one's more of a new one. It's a new one I found the other day. It's with Old Rolled Up Tomato and Misery. They had a big 2 hour 31 live stream. I watched about probably 20 minutes of it, and I've seen some good content in there to make, but I can't do the whole 2.5 hours, but luckily for me they've started to release little clips of it, because why not? Why not make as much money humanly possible scamming people? And if you don't know who these two people are, Rolo's been in the more of the RP scene, the red scene for quite some time now. I think he said he got into it about 1998, things like that. And Mystery, of course, he's one of the most infamous people out there. I think he co-wrote the game or something with Neil Strauss, and he's got his own mystery method, which I've actually seen a copy of it back in 2005 and 6. Let me just say I found a copy online. Not going to say where I found it, but I found it of his system. And like I always say with these people, even a broken clock tells the time right twice a day. And like Mystery did have some good points, like with his, like, what are we here for? Survival, replication, and like, women want the fittest, genes. They want, good genes, but what he fails to mention is that they want good-looking guys. With this guy here, Mystery, and like I said, Rolo alike, are both of the minds that you can actually create attraction. You can act in a certain way as to invoke attraction in a lady. And as we all know, that's complete utter bullshit. But they can't let sleeping dogs lie. This Mystery bloke's still at it now in his 50s, still trying to teach the same old shit. It's not just same old shit, it's same shit, different smell. They try to push it. Doesn't matter how rich you are, how tall you are, how ugly you are. If you say and do the right things, you can attract women. And not only women, but hot women. They certainly do say the right things to get your money, don't they? Now, as we go through this, I'll stop and tell you little bits and pieces more about Mystery. I don't really know too much about Rolo, but I know a fair bit about Mystery and what he pushes and what he sells. And he's basically all about he says there's 3 areas to getting laid. He says you've got to create attraction, which we all know you can't do. Then he says you've got to build comfort, which is just basically getting to know the person, just talking and getting to know another person. And then there's seduction, which is it's how to get from comfort to the bedroom. He's got, once again, he's got like all up, it's probably about 50 or 60 different steps. Like, I don't know. If it's like Rehab Room says, if you need all this shit, it's over. If you have to seek the help of one of these guys, it's done. It's done and dusted. It's a done deal. How the hell are you meant to, just try and relax and be yourself while remembering 50 or 60 different steps that you've got to do and what to say? And like, I've got no doubt that Mystery's had a little bit of success in his life, but get this. He says looks and height and money and that don't matter, but what has he got? Looks, height and money. The guy's reportedly somewhere around 6'5" to 6'6" tall, and he wears that hat that makes him probably up to near 7 foot tall, and he goes out, dressed up like some eccentric shirt lifter. So that's, now of course, going to get him some attention. He's a bit older now. He's in his 50s, not as good looking as he used to be, but he used to be quite a good looking bloke. So this guy had even if he's actually performing all this bullshit that he tries to sell, he's going to get some lays just because he's a tall, good-looking rich bloke. And that's just that. Like these women that he says, oh, I seduced them, I done this, I push-pulled, I playfully flirted, and all the other crap he comes out with. He was already in. He was already in with some of these women because he's already been choosing singles, good-looking. As for Rolo, I don't know how tall he is, but I believe he's shorter than 6 foot. I don't know. I've heard 5'8", 5'10", I'm not too sure. At the start of this main live stream that this is a clip of, he was carried on about how he used to do quite well in the 80s and 90s. Don't know what it looked like back then, but he puts it down to, oh, I had my own little thing, my angle going. I was in a band, I was the guitar guy and that. Let me tell you something right now. I used to be in a band. I used to play pubs and clubs. And not once has it ever gotten me laid. I'll tell you, I have guys coming up saying, oh, yeah, I like your guitar, I like your solo, all that stuff. I like you played it. I was even the front man singing and lead guitar. Didn't get me nothing. So, it definitely wasn't that. It must have been because he must have been quite a good looking guy when he was younger. But they'll put it down to everything but looks because that's their main scam. That's their main grift. He's selling you the false hope that you can create attraction in basically anyone you want to, really. But without further ado, I'll hit play and I'll stop and interject as I feel necessary. So let's get it started.
Rational Redneck says, I've worked sales jobs and people always look at me like I have two heads when I compare them. But what are the similarities between sales and pickup?
I don't really take sales metaphor and bring it to pickup. Here's why. Sales usually refers to handling objections logically. You know, a woman doesn't say, I don't like you because this and this and this reason. And you say, so if I could solve this reason, and this reason, could we go ahead with this relationship? That's getting logical. I want to
negotiation.
Change. It's yeah, exactly. It's objection handling. I would rather change her mood, not her mind. I'm not out to change her mind logically, rationally, you know, but I'm rich, right? Instead, I'm out to make her feel good in the time I'm with her.
Right.
That's what I'm doing. It's a dance club, not a sit and question life club.
You know, it makes a lady feel good, being tall, being rich, and being good looking. That's it, guys. I've just taught you how to pick up ladies, how to pick up women. Be tall, be rich, be good looking. That's if I was to ever release a book on how to pick up women, it'd be page 1, be good looking, page 2, be tall, page 3, be rich, page 4, the end.
So some of my interactions are rather surface and very comedic. We're getting into instant rapport by laughing together, right? That is the win. 25 minutes into the set, you won't remember what I said.
And notice there he said 25 minutes into the set. That's what these roaches call it when you approach some random woman off the street and start doing all this shit. Well, they call it a set. And so, as I said, he's got this opening, building comfort, attraction. It's all just a complete load of absolute bullshit.
But you'll remember how she felt
about it, yeah. Leaving her with an emotional impact.
And I'll presume she's smarter than me and can see through my game.
Game doesn't exist, buddy. I hate to, we can all see now that we've been unplugged from the Matrix. We can all see that it's all bullshit. There's no game. There's no personality or anything that you can put on that's going to attract someone that doesn't find you physically attractive. It doesn't work that way.
But she enjoys it.
She's still playing it. Yeah.
Right?
So that's similar to one of the concepts I throw out there is this: women don't want to be told that they're playing a game. They want you to be a good player of the game.
More bullshit that they try to get you to do. And notice how they say good play, you got to be good, you got to be good. It's another thing they do. So when you buy all their courses and go to their workshops and you find out that all this shit doesn't work, you go home and you think it's your fault. Very clever tactic that these guys use. And I can tell you it doesn't work. I went out and done this stuff verbatim. Me and a group of friends I had back in the day took this shit really, really fucking seriously. And we got nowhere with it. And everyone else that I've spoken to and ran into that's tried this shit has told me, they've kind of said to me, hey mate, does this stuff ever work for you? And I went, nope, how about you? Nope, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. You think about it. If PUA and game worked, if it genuinely worked, wouldn't everyone be doing it? Wouldn't, and then by now it's been out for 20 odd years. For 20 years of exposure, wouldn't every guy on planet Earth be doing it? If it worked. Proof. Case closed. It don't fucking work.
They want you to be able, because they don't want to have a guy who sits there and explains, well, you're doing this because of hypergamy, and this is a shit test, and this is this, and that. See all the things that you're doing. Like, they don't want to have some guy with an Excel spreadsheet. Good. Yeah.
Feel great, feel enthused, feel fascinated. That's really the emotion that I attempt to project.
You know what makes women feel good? When a chat approaches them.
Act fascinated by the topics I bring up, so they can feel fascination through me.
Yes.
There he goes again, saying that you can evoke these feelings, fascination and attraction in a woman. You just can't do it. Mate, if a woman doesn't find you physically appealing, it's game over. It didn't begin with her. And if a woman does find you physically attractive, you don't need any of this bullshit. That's another reason why that just debunks all this shit. If a woman likes you, you don't need to go through all this bullshit. That's pointless. Just go up there and just be yourself. You'll just be a normal person. Talk to a lady like she's just a normal person.
That's how I do.
No one ever reasoned a woman into bed.
Right.
They emotion a woman into
You got that right. No one ever reasoned a woman or gamed a woman into bed.
But they've never reasoned a woman into bed. You can. There's enough guys. I mean, Fox Day used to call them the gamma males. These are the guys who are the list makers, right? Like, here's
another one of these stupid terms. I don't even know what a gamma male is. I know gamma is a Greek letter of the Greek alphabet. But it's another thing. It's more so a newer thing with all these dating roaches. You've got to be the alpha male, not the beta male, and then there's zeta and omega males, and they can come up with all this bullshit. They can have blackboards full of bullshit, whiteboards really, when they hold these seminars, and it makes them look like they've really went in depth and they know everything there is to know, where they really are teaching you fuck all, because it doesn't matter. As you know, I've heard a lot of other people say in the manosphere, 99% of the time you're rejected or accepted before you even open your mouth. As soon as she locks eyes with you as you're walking over to a lady, you're either rejected or you're accepted. Then all you have to do is just not be a dickhead and not be an idiot or overtly sexual, and you'll be fine.
a list of reasons why I'm the perfect boyfriend for you. 1, I would never leave you, baby. 2, I'm in love with you. 3, I've got a great job. I come from an Ivy League college. I have a great family. I like dogs. I want kids in the future. Like all this thing.
That's
and
right.
the woman says, fuck you. I want to get with the outlaw motorcycle gang member over here because he makes me feel something. If it's danger, doesn't matter. Just as long as it's an emotional association.
It's visceral.
What a woman wants to feel is attraction. How do you attract a woman? She has to find you good looking. Once again, I just have to reiterate the point. That really is all about looks. Then all you have to be is socially competent. If anything at all, I can give some of these PUA guys now. If anything, they can teach you how to go out and be sociable. Don't worry about any pickup lines and shit like that. If you want to take away anything from them, just take away the fact that it's okay to be social with a lady that gives you choosing signals. That's really the only thing they can really do, is like give you permission and like reasoning that it's okay to go up and talk to women. But the way they see it, you can approach any woman, any situation. If your game's, quote unquote, good enough, you'll attract her. If you follow these steps exactly, you'll attract her. And if you don't, it's your fault. Remember that, gentlemen. Anytime you fuck up, the first 500 rejections, it's all your fault because you've done something wrong. It's not because you're ugly, not because you're bald, not because you're short, not because you're ethnic. It's because you didn't say the right things in the right order.
Yeah, and I think a lot of guys who come into this space and they can't get their heads out of sort of like, they're too rational. Like, and I hate to say that because I'm rational. They're too rational in the sense that they expect that women, and this is because they believe in what I call the blank slate fallacy. Like men and women are just the same, right?
So more bullshit, blank slate fallacy. Never heard of that one. I think he's going to explain it. Let's see what this is about.
So if men and women are just the same, then women should have the same level of capacity, anyways, of rationality that men do. So we should just logically explain to them why we're the perfect mate for them, the perfect mate choice, and we're going to have perfect little babies, and we're going to have 2.5 kids and a golden retriever in the front yard, and this is how we're going to go off. And
now, what conveys all that stuff that he just said to a woman is, I'll give you 3 guesses, you only need one though, is your looks. That conveys that you're going to have, healthy children, that you're going to be able to make money and have the house with a Labrador and all that shit. It's looks, mate.
And your future time projecting.
Yeah,
now.
And it is the most boring, most stale, most stagnant bullshit that you could possibly come up with. And women, I think it was Vox Day says, women have this uncontrollable desire to punch those guys in the face, and they can't explain why they have that impulse. And that's why they have that impulse.
Well,
because you're not playing the game, you're explaining the game.
Fair. In conclusion to this topic, sales metaphor is not something that I bring into my cold approach pickup. It to me is too cold and calculating. Pickup is supposed to be warm and fun.
One of the great challenges in this world
we got an ad,
is knowing enough about a subject to think you're right.
Playful, non-threatening, non-needy, rapport building, rapport breaking for entertainment's sake. Because if you're a challenge and you break rapport, when she works to mend it in qualifying, and you
more fucking absolute nonsense shit. Qualifying. Now, this is a term that PUAs use that mean you've got to get the woman to start chasing you and qualify herself to you. This is how arrogant, self-centered these pricks are. And he did go on the talk in the full clip. I hope they show it in a different clip. Otherwise, I might have to make timestamps on the big one and do it. He was saying that, some of my best pickups are when I can turn it around and make a girl that's not interested want me and chase me. What an absolute load of fucking shit. You cannot cold approach a lady that has zero interest, that's giving you zero choosing signals, do and say the right things, and turn it around to make her want to chase you and pick you up. How fucking absurd. How dare they try to teach men that you can do this shit and it works? How dare they make $1 and sleep at night selling this shit?
You allow her to mend it, you have a weld, and the weld is stronger, and you appreciate each other, and you respect each other, that it can go south. The conversation can become fueled.
That's
but
conditional.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly, that it's conditional.
Yeah. I think one of the things that a lot of guys don't grasp, especially with me, because they expect me to be Mr. Spock, right? Like I'm the guy that's like going to explain everything logically for you.
The rational man.
The thing is like I don't do that with my wife. I don't do that with the girls that are on here. And that it throws people off when they see me on Access Vegas and some chick starts talking about astrology and go, oh, really? Tell me more about that. You know, tell me more about, I've done this before. Like we had 10 girls at the table one time. And I go, you guys are all in astrology, right? You're all experts at astrology. Yeah, of course. Like, okay, what's my sign? All 10 of them got it wrong. And I'm like,
cheese dick. Now, just give me a second. I've got to check OBS for a second. Yep, it's all good. I thought I had the camera on and didn't want to have it on. It's all good. That's something I used to do too, like get into this whole astrology, you know, this fucking, because of course Mystery teaches that in his little course. He says, I'll learn a bit of magic, do some palmistry, you know. We used to go out, I think at one stage we were even going out with fucking tarot cards and shit. You know, shit like that, because it says, it evokes all these certain emotions and it shows that, you know, you're an empathetic, compassionate guy, whatever the fuck he said, and it didn't get us nothing. What we know that to be today is what's called jester maxing, and that's all me and my friends were doing. We were jester maxing. I think I learned about 4 or 5 magic tricks. I'd go around and see a table, there'd be some girls there I liked, I'd go and open them, do a few magic tricks, do this, do that, couple of negs, push-pull. Do that month after month, year after year, and get absolutely no fucking results, man. That's absolute shit. Like I said before, if this shit worked, by now, after 20 years of it being mainstream, every guy would be doing it.
There's like 12 like signs, right? Something like that.
From.
Yeah, like statistically, you should have guessed it by now. But so I'm just playing along, being very playful with it. So that's why I have like the magic 8-ball and I have crystals and stuff like that. Because like Mike hates that shit, and he he's dead stops, right? He doesn't. I'm like, no. This is an opportunity.
Yeah,
like, you want that yin yang shit. You want to play into that kind of stuff because that's playing along with it. Do I know logically, rationally, that astrology and all this stuff is like the woo-woo energy?
Yeah, I'm into astronomy, so it kind of dispels
like, the whole thing is like,
things.
I'm like, no, I know it's bullshit, but I'm playing along. But everybody in the goddamn chat's like, I can't believe he says something like that. How come he's the rational male? And I'm like, dude, there's an act, there's a playfulness that goes on, and it's okay to be playful. It's okay to have fun with this shit. I know that it's bullshit, but I'm going to play into that. And if you have this like mentality of everything has to be like literal and just to this autistic level where it's just like you can't engage with women without being 100% logical with them and everything else, and it's like, well, you're going to be fucking lonely for a while because again, it comes back to that emotional
rapport.
side.
You're breaking rapport with people who are investing, their truth in you.
Yeah,
just accept their truth.
Yeah.
Try Hungry Jack's fried chicken palmy with their juicy Aussie chicken, sizzling bacon, Napolitana sauce, and melted cheese. Part of the new Aussie Pub Classic range. Great shout. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
Get into the
another ad that I can't skip.
Deals. Get this higher oven, $4.99. This
I don't want to get copyrighted for music, so I'm going to talk over the ads.
It doesn't have to be the truth.
Her truth.
Their truth.
Accept her truth for what it is. Right.
I know this guy, when I first started doing Fresh and Fit, Hotep Jesus, a good friend of mine, he knows all the stuff that I do. He's very on top of his game. He's very logical minded, very business minded. But when I see him at Moxie's or when I see him with chicks, he is just smooth as fucking goose shit, man. I mean, he is just so, and because he vibes with them, that's what because they don't know what else to call it.
What makes women vibe with men is if they're good looking. I have yet to see, like, as I said, look, in previous videos, I've worked at pubs and clubs as security, bouncing, we call it here in Australia, probably is around the world too, for 20 odd plus years, since I was about 18, 19 years old, started doing it. And I've never seen an ugly guy go into a club and clean up. I've never seen a sub-5 go into a club, spit game, and clean up and walk out with a honey. The only guys that I've seen pick up, month after month, year after year, are chads. The shit just doesn't fucking work, mate. I can't believe this stuff is still getting preached. It needs to be yeeted off the internet, all this shit. It's just absolute bullshit. These guys are making that much money selling shit that doesn't work. And yes, when you read it, it sounds good, it sounds logical, it sounds like it's going to work. But then, once again, I said, I used to do all this shit, and I've observed, male-female interactions for 20, 30 odd years, and it just doesn't work. The stuff they're saying doesn't work. It doesn't compute. It just sounds good, but it doesn't work.
Right? I'm vibing with these girls, and he knows all of the seduction stuff. He knows all of the shit tests. He knows all of the mechanics of this, but he plays that so.
Shit tests. If you get a shit test, leave, because the woman doesn't like you. Once again, after all these, I used to watch people quite closely. I've never ever seen a chad or any kind of guy that a woman finds attractive get a shit test or get fucked around. It doesn't happen. These PUAs call them shit tests, but what it is, it's actually a lady that's not interested in you, that doesn't want anything to do with you, that's trying to get you to go away. When they give you little one-word answers, that's a shit test. When she makes a smart-ass remark and sniggers with her friends, that's them trying to humiliate you because you're not attractive, and you've got the gall to approach them. Shit tests aren't something to overcome. If you get a shit test, leave the interaction because you're not welcome there.
Well, that if you saw him, you would think, like most guys would say, "Oh, he's simping for that girl. Or he's trying to suck up to that girl and tell her what she wants to hear so he can get in her pants," which is true. But he also knows the dynamics that are underneath the game that he's playing on top of this. And I don't think enough people. Maybe this is some, like people were asking just a minute ago, what's the differences in the game right now, right? Well, back in 1998, we didn't have the same level of knowledge base that we have right now. And I think that has been both a benefit, but also a deficit for us as well, because we become too literally minded. We have access to so much information right now that we can't play along with the magic. We can't play anymore. We just have to analyze everything all the time. And that's what keeps guys at home.
Look, it made no difference what you knew in 1998 than you do in 2025. It didn't work back then, and it doesn't work now.
That's why there's no girls out there that are worth engaging with right now.
Why will I try?
Yeah, why even try? Right? Why even bother? Or we'll get into the dancing monkey thing. Like, well, you're just out there just performing for these girls, and that's not who you really are, and you're inauthentic and all this other stuff, and you're performing for their approval. And I'm like, and
if bowing down and kissing a woman on her feet worked, I'd do it.
Everybody would be.
If that's pickup, I would do it. It doesn't work, but I would do it. Right? Yeah. So yeah, I like girls, if it means me having to meet them, I will do that because he's not meeting them.
Yeah. Well, at some point you have to play the game.
Well, I don't like how they hang shit on that guy at home that's just doing his own thing, not going out and meeting girls. Like, what if that guy had already done that, went out and tried, and didn't get anywhere, so he just decided the juice ain't worth the squeeze, fuck this, I'd rather stay at home and just live my life and not worry about the opposite sex. What's wrong with that? These guys like to call them losers and betas, things like that. What if a lot of guys have went out and tried, they've watched channels like this, they've learned a little bit of stuff and realised that none of it works. know. No, these guys are all losers. No, you've got to buy their courses.
You have to play. It's not going to just come to you and just like fall in your lap. If you want to be successful with women, you have to, in some way, at the very least, meet them halfway, right? And play the game and be able.
What if you're not attractive and you can't get your foot in the door? What happens then? What happens if you're a sub 5? It's over before it began. It just doesn't begin if you're a sub 5. I'm sorry, mate, but you know, look, as I said, if you get a reasonable looking guy, say a 6 or above, that goes out and just interacts with women in general, he's going to get some results. Even if he tries, and he can memorise all the shit in these books and that, or just go up and just introduce himself and just say whatever comes to his mind, he's still going to get results. And as I said, the shit that these guys want you to learn, it's so convoluted, it's so intricate, that you spend half the time wondering, oh, have I said this, have I necked them enough, have I done this, and it doesn't work. Like, just looking back, the only times I've had a chance to actually run game, as they call it, is when the girl's already rejected me, but she's just not mean enough to tell me to F off. So I'm just there talking with her. She's just bored, or she wants to hear me out, or just for whatever reason, not because she's attracted. So I'm thinking, oh yeah, look, she hasn't, rejected me yet, but in reality, she already had rejected me. But back then, when I thought all this shit worked, I'm like, oh, no, I've got one here. She's standing, leaning against the bar, waiting for a drink. I've got at least a couple of minutes here to create attraction, to say all these things, to neg, to push, pull, to invoke all these feelings, to do these things, to be a little bit mean, say things that are a little bit mean, because that's what the bad boys do, and they get women left, right, and centre, don't they? Yeah, the attractive Jeremy Meeks bad boys, yeah, they do, not the ugly bad boys. They don't get nothing. But like, at the very best, this shit just allows you to be entertaining and be a jester maxer. At the very worst, you're going to get thrown out the club or arrested for harassment, or, God forbid if you ever have any like false accusations against you because of this. That alone makes it not worth doing, in my opinion. Just don't do this shit. I'm pretty sure this clip's finished. You're just going into something else now.
From Earth, you can see 4% of the...
Let me pause that shit. I'm not really interested in that. I'll have a quick look. I'll see what other clips he's got. I'm not going to do any right now. Oh, here we go. He's got heaps of clips out. That's all right. Oh, they're not all mysteries clips. Let me have a look. I think he's just started to release all these mystery clips. This is the first one he's got, so I'll be sure to make a video on all of them and debunk them and prove that these guys are just full of fucking shit. And you guys should know that too. If you've ever been out and tried a bit of this stuff, you'll know yourself it doesn't fucking work. All this shit, it does not work. The only thing that works is being good looking. As if the girl finds you attractive. Then you're in the door. If not, you're fucked. You can't walk up to any... Like the mystery will say, oh, there's no difference between a 4 out of 10 and an 8 out of 10. As if anyone can just learn this shit and walk up to an 8 out of 10 Sydney Sweeney looking type girl and just say the right things and take her home that night. What a load of fucking crap, mate. As I said, I'm 43. I used to do this shit pretty religiously and take it seriously, thinking it's going to work and get me laid. And it never once had worked. The only results I have had is when the woman actually found me attractive. And there was no stunners in that group. Don't worry about that. And when I used to be at work sober, mind you too, at work, and just observe how people are interacting, especially guys and women. And I know a few guys that were out and about in the pubs and clubs that are bounced at. I knew they were running game, that I might have known them, or that come and told me some way or somehow. I just knew they were doing it. And they never had any results either. Well, the only ones that did were good-looking guys that thought this shit was going to get them even more, women. It just doesn't work, mate. You can't. It just doesn't work. Like I said before, if this shit really did work, every single man, straight man, would be doing it. It's been around for 20 years now. If it worked, everyone would be doing it. But anyway, I'm going to conclude this video here. It's been 35 odd minutes. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a little bit different to the usual PUA stuff, because I'm not really breaking down the infield, when they're walking up onto the streets and talking to and trying to pick them up. This is it's a little bit different, but I don't mind doing this interview style stuff and breaking it down and telling you why all the shit doesn't work and giving you examples of where I've seen it not work. And it always just comes back down to the BP, where looks are everything. Sorry, but they are. Looks are everything. But as I said, I'll leave this one here. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.